Marcus Rashford. Oh, glorious! That is a special one.
Hello and welcome to the United Hour. I am President Jan. Drowning sorrows, I guess. After such an unbelievably horrible game from Manchester United today. But let's start the day talking about doing our due diligence. And we have to talk a little bit or say rest in peace to the man Dennis Law, who the only two people with more goals for Manchester United than Dennis Law is Sir Bobby and Wayne Rooney. So he has been a faithful servant to the club and a good ambassador for the club. So, condolences to the Law family. I really thought that today the team would have gone out there and show some kind of fight, consistent fight to, for his memory, in his memory. And it didn't materialize like that, but, a faithful servant to the club, and we give thanks for what he would have done for Manchester United over the years, and we remember him. So, rest in peace, Dennis Law. All right, so now let's get into the business of the day. Manchester United 3, Manchester United 1, Brighton 3. This is the third home game that we have lost to Brighton. 3 home games in a row. Only other club that has done that to us in recent history is Manchester City. Amarin, after the game, talked about, how painful it is, and he's not going to give up on his football values. And this is the worst Manchester United team in the history of the Premier League. Imagine our brand new head coach is saying that this is the worst Manchester United team in the history of the Premier League. Talk to me. Get any comments and tell me if you agree. Now, he's speaking from a statistical standpoint. We are definitely the worst, right? He also commented that he came into this team and the new manager is losing more than the old manager. And obviously, that is not going to fill the fans and or fill us fill him with confidence. But it is what it is. So we're just going to run through a little bit. I'm just going to talk a little bit about things that stand out to me in the game. All right. Brighton scored early. Minte scored in the 5th minute. And after that, Manchester United started to play football. And for the 35 minutes of the first half, the end of the first half, I thought that Manchester United was dominant. We were the dominant team. And I really felt like we were going to make a difference. We were going to do something. We got the penalty. All the work Xerxes did. Got the penalty. Bruno tucked it away. Easy as you like. 1-1. And I said, well, all right. Because when I see Manchester United fight like the way we fought for that 35 minutes at the end of the first half, I think that is the Manchester United that drew with Liverpool. That is the Manchester United that drew and eventually won on penalties against Arsenal. That is the Manchester United that beat City. That is the Manchester United that is hard, that could take on anybody in the league and possibly be successful. We were fighting for every ball. We were putting in the work, aggressive. And halftime came, went into the dressing room, came back out, and I don't know where that Manchester United went. I just don't know. The Manchester United that ended the first half, that played our last 30, 35 minutes of the first half, is not the same Manchester United that came out in the second half. Because there was not that degree of fight, there was not that degree of grit, of determination. So the second half comes, and again, Andre Onana, who has saved Manchester United a lot, including in that game against Arsenal, who has put in man of the match performances in the last 4 or 5 games, chose today to have a stinker. Chose today to give all of his critics ammunition against him for the rest of the season. All the people who don't like Onana would have been jumping up and down today. They would have been like, you see, why he not good? The man, firstly, I don't think he was responsible for the second goal. I think the cross was a little too good. It looked like it was close to him that he could go out and get it, but he couldn't get to it, in my opinion. But the third goal, that was just a disaster. Right? That was just a disaster. That was an easy ball for Onana to wrap up. It bubbled out and put into the back of the net deservedly. So Manchester United had opportunities to score. Garnacho missed. Was arguably a very easy chance. Bruno missed. Not even putting the ball on target for some fairly decent chances. Harder, but fairly decent chances. So, and another game where Højlund just didn't look like he was going to get on the score sheet. Just did not look like he was going to get on the score sheet. And I just wonder what kind of football my team plays. What kind of football in terms of consistency is a Jekyll and Hyde? You just never know which United is going to show up. Onana had a bad game, a very bad game. Mazwari didn't have the greatest game either. But the midfield showed up today. Ugarte, Menu won a lot of their duels. You know, they put in the hard work. What can we say about Ahmad? Ahmad did this thing, continue to create, continue to cause havoc on defenses, but the football is just lackluster. You know, let me just touch some comments. Good afternoon to Martin Phillip. And can crap football again against the lower teams? Well, I don't know that Brighton is that much of a lower team, no, Ken. Because not just because they're above us in the table, but it's the third time Brighton has come to Old Trafford and pulled down our draws. I mean, when our team consistently come into Old Trafford and pulling down our draws, we can't call them a lower team, in my opinion. You understand what I'm saying? But talk to me, guys, because sometimes it is sort of wonder what else you could say about this team. Clearly, the players, for whatever reason, I don't know if they're on the period, I don't know what the challenge is, why we see this Jekyll and Hyde, where 1 week, 1 game, there is such an intensity, there's such a fight, there is such a determination, there is such clinicalness in the passing, effectiveness in the finishing. And then another week is like the feeling what they're running against cones and not real players, not real people who obviously will hurt you when you make mistakes. I don't know what happened to Onana today. I really don't know what happened to Onana today. Can't make any excuses for him today. I guess everybody entitled to have a shitty day once in a while, but oh gosh, boy. Oh gosh. Why it had to be today. This kind of performances is why the fan base is calling for just to get rid or to move most of the players. You know, his team is only good against the big teams. Yeah, well, that's when you seem to get up for the fight. Southampton played us off the park for 80 minutes, embarrassing. Yeah, Southampton get 3 goals today from Nottingham Forest. I mean, they scored 2. So the final scoreline look okay, you know, against Nottingham Forest but they conceded 3 goals first. It was 3-0. Final score was 3-2. So really and truly, the ease at which they were being put away is sad. So we got Robert looking to fall inside. So let me just add him to the stream. Robert Wallace, how are you today, my brother?
I'm good.
I would say cheers, but we're not celebrating anything today, so no cheers.
Nah, not today. Mm-mm.
Robert, what could you say about this team today? We talk about the team before we start to talk about individual players. What can you say about that performance today?
Well, the team is, I don't like to say it, but the reality is that we are in a relegation fight. We are in relegation fight. That's what we are. You know, we are a relegation team. You understand? Relegation.
You're not in no relegation fight,
So,
bro. You see the teams that in the relegation, you see how much points they have.
we are on
One
the
team
road
on 6 and the next
to
3
power,
above them on 16.
right? But
We are not in a relegation fight.
we are on the road to 40 points. 40.
Well, if it's one season, we could get 40 points
Is this
and be
season?
safe. Might still even end up in the top half of the table. It might be this season
Done.
because so many other teams are so bad.
Yeah.
Look, Spurs got sprung from Everton today.
Mhm,
I mean, no, don't get me wrong. I'm not using that to make any excuses for Manchester United. I'm just saying that the results, especially for the top teams this season, have been all over the place. City seems to have gotten back their mojo.
mhm.
You know, at one point it looked like something was wrong in the water in Manchester because all these Manchester teams was playing crap. But City seemed to have caught themselves, beat up a team 6-0 today. So, you know, what go ahead.
I just feel like the team is playing like the team has always played. When they are up for it, they are up for it. And when they're not, they're not. You understand? So now mind you, I believe last year, right? We got beat by Brighton last year, 3-1.
Yeah, we got beaten. Brighton has beaten us 3 games at home on the trot.
Right. So, I don't know why people, but you see, Southampton, right? Game last week. That was a miracle. You understand? We came back from the edges, right, of defeat.
Yeah, we were the second best team for 80 minutes until Ahmad saved our blushes.
Right.
The final scoreline was flattering.
Exactly.
3-1 was a flattering scoreline to what actually went on in the game.
Right. So today we played just like how we played them last week. To me, it was worse. It was worse. I mean, I think right now we're gonna run right now.
And Brighton is a way better team than Southampton.
Yes.
So you can't play Brighton with a lack of intensity. You can't make those kind of mistakes and don't expect to get punished playing a team like Brighton.
It was easy. Brighton didn't even have to try. It was easy. And once again, Welbeck again scores. I don't understand, right? How you go allow Welbeck to come into your house, shake Fergie's hand, and then come and score and celebrate. I find that just disrespectful. And you see, there's something. You see Ferguson, he's the next clown to wear. I don't like him for that, right? Stop coming into the flipping games. Stay in your house, right? Stay, you're old man now. Go home, chill out, right? Why are you shaking ex-players' hands for? You know the man gonna score, right? He always
Fergie, Fergie is a old man
scores.
that we don't know
Mhm.
when will be the last of his years. That negative aggression, well, not negative, that necessary aggression of a manager,
Uh-huh.
he could get a pass. He
Yeah.
don't need to be that
Mhm.
aggressive anymore. That time is behind him. He's a senior statesman of the club
Right.
now. He
Right.
could shake everybody's hand and smile and giggle with everybody.
Nah,
I
500.
mean, it's the same way when you see Arsene Wenger out there.
Mhm.
Always he and Fergie just get on like if there's besties now, if you ever see them together at functions in FIFA.
Mhm.
You know, you would never believe Arsene Wenger was our coach.
Mhm.
For Arsenal, the way he does be chummy with everybody. So give Fergie a break. Don't take out
Nah,
your
but
frustration at Ferguson.
no, but
Let me just touch on some comments there quickly.
Mhm.
Courtney is saying this drink look beastly cool. This is one of the frost mugs from the fan club in Trinity City Mall. You need to go and check them out. You could actually you could put it in the deep freeze and it
Mhm.
will stay cool. And you can take it out of the deep freeze and put your drink in it. Or you could put your drink in it and put it in the deep freeze, but it keeps stuff very cool for very long. So check it out. And so I wanna ask a question. And a serious question, and I'm hoping that somebody could bring. I want you guys to give me a genuine opinion. And the question is simply this: what can Amarin do again with this team? What can we do? Right? Genuinely. Talk to me, guys. What can we do with this team? Because this Jekyll and Hyde kind of performance.
Mhm.
One day we playing like, we're one of the best teams in the Premier League. We beat
Mhm.
City under Amarin. We
Yeah.
draw with the team on top of the league, Liverpool. We beat
Yes.
the team that came second and was supposed to be the team challenging for the title in the FA
Yes.
Cup. We
Mhm.
kicked them out.
Mhm.
And then we go and struggle against Southampton and
Yeah.
lose against Brighton.
Yes.
What can we do with this Manchester United team? Dr. Murray, what can Amarin give it if he had his ears? Give Amarin some
I
advice
would
right now.
I would tell Amaran, you're good, right? I know we look good, right? I know we look good, but we are a bad thing, right? Manchester is a bad thing, a bad, bad, bad thing, right? Don't be confused by the nice curves, the nice hair, the nice skin. We are a bad thing. We are a used and abused bad thing. Okay, you should have stayed where you were, right? So I suggest you go and write a letter, right, back to Sporting and beg them for forgiveness, and then go back there and save yourself. Save yourself. Save yourself.
Repent.
Repent. Save yourself because trust me,
Oh,
no, no, but on under all seriousness, right? It is. I don't know what he has to do. I don't know because the men can play. It's not that they can't play. They have proven that they can play in the system. They have proved it, right? That they could, right?
it
People that
almost feels like it's wrong. It is a merry-go-round. Like
mm,
every so often a player there's be like, let me show you how bad I could be. And
yeah,
today was Onana's day,
yes,
right?
because
Past
yes,
few games, he was one of the best players on the pitch.
mm-hmm,
Today he decide, I ain't
yeah,
saying he's the only one, but he decided I'm gonna be the worst player on the pitch today. I'm gonna show
yeah,
you how bad I could be today.
because I
And it's
mean,
like almost every game, somebody
besides,
decides
yeah.
to show us how bad they could be. I
Remember
mean,
Maswari? He was the guy. Now it's like you don't know, you don't know. I mean,
let's touch
they
some
played
comments. Let's see what these guys have to say. Shabaka is saying, my drink is watching the ladies team destroy City at the Etihad. Boy, thank God for Manchester United ladies, yes.
Mhm.
Thank God for Manchester United. And there will be no joy
Yeah.
in Manchester right now if it wasn't for Manchester United ladies doing very, very well, the female team. Martin is saying, was there any weakness in the composition of the first 11 today? I know some people felt that Hoyland should have started. He should have started the same
No.
11. But I think Xerxes played well the last two games he came on. And I think he was rewarded for playing well. And as the manager always says, if you play well and you perform in training, you're going to be given the starting. And he has to be consistent with that. He can't say that and then when players deserve to start. But the truth is, every time Xerxes has started, he hasn't really shone. But Xerxes is not one of the players I consider having a bad game today. You know, he didn't have a great game, but he was responsible for getting the penalty. His hold-up play was a lot better than it has been in the past. It wasn't the greatest, but, you know, he had no hold-up play before today. At least he showed a little hold-up play today. So, you know, I can't see anybody else that I would have rather start. I really don't care to see Casemiro in this team. The faster that we could get his money off the books, the better for us. We ought to be looking forward and play players who are going to be taking us forward. So Eriksen running off sometimes may be okay, but I don't want to see Casemiro and Eriksen starting games at this stage because we know these guys are not going to take us into the future.
No.
So I think the starting 11 was cool. What was your opinion on the starting 11?
It was good enough. It was good enough to face Brighton.
Sure.
Yeah, I think Mazwari.
It was definitely more than enough to beat Brighton. Yeah. Correct.
Because Mazwari and Delo supposed to be our wing backs. They were in their positions. Euro was in his position. Harry Maguire was in his position. Gillett, same thing. I think having Ahmad in that right 10 position, again, his best position, right? To me, my only concern would have been, I don't think that Menu should be next to Gat anymore. I mean, when Bruno went there, I think we were better. Now, yes, you lose you may lose his way of being able to ping a pass or do something.
I don't think so. I have been saying for a long time, even before Amarin, that playing Bruno deeper, because when you look at where Bruno plays for Portugal, and when you look at where Bruno played when we brought him, he was the deep line playmaker. And that ability to just get the ball and ping it down the field and hit that killer pass into the next half of the field, that's Bruno's skill set. Now, my challenge with Bruno is that sometimes he's aggressive. Yes, he's not sometimes. He's always aggressive, but sometimes his tackling is shit. Right? And sometimes he's a yellow card waiting to happen.
Yes, yeah.
And in that part of the field, you need a tackle.
No,
right?
Yeah.
So, but we have seen him do it. Sometimes when he makes subs and he takes players off and he takes Mino off and he brings on attackers, or he takes off Ugarte and he brings on attackers, he drops Bruno back.
Yeah.
So it is not like Bruno can't do it. That's an interesting thing, pushing Mino, having Mino and Ahmad in the 10.
Yeah.
And pushing Bruno back next to Ugarte. I wouldn't mind seeing it.
And then you have Xerxes in front, because to me, I think Xerxes with those two is a better option than Højlund with those two. I think Højlund is good with Bruno up front. The problem with Højlund is Højlund cannot control the ball. He doesn't. He cannot hold up the ball the way how Xerxes will hold the ball. So Xerxes with Ahmad and maybe Mino is, to me, a better combination. If you're gonna put Bruno up front, I think maybe you need somebody else next to him, and then put Ahmad back on the right wing back. You know.
All right. Yeah, that is definitely something. You know, we're trying to talk solutions. We're trying to give Amarin some advice if we capable of doing that. You know, but as United fans, we entitled to opinion. And I personally think dropping Bruno back and not dropping Kobe, you know, Kobe shouldn't be on the bench.
No.
Kobe should be playing, but pushing Kobe up into the 10 as one of the next 10s. I think we could do something at least we could experiment with.
Yeah.
All right, let's run through some of the comments, see what some of the other guys are saying. Ken is saying sell half of them. Ken, I think half. Probably need to tell about 3/4, yes. I think that's some of the best advice. Sell 3/4 of the team. Courtney give him the under 23s and send everyone else home. I when I look at Collier's performances, when I look at his aggression, he comes on there, no matter who the opposition is, he doesn't play like a youth player.
No.
I feel the sentiment really. I feel sometimes that our youth players would not perform any worse than some of these first team players right now. You know what I mean? So before we just go crazy and try to buy, you know, a whole new team in the summer, let some of the youths play.
Yeah.
Let some of the youths play. We might find some diamonds in the rough, some areas that we may not need to go and spend money in, you know? So we'll see how that goes. Amarin must get some new players in the dressing room before the transfer window closes.
Yeah.
This is a match reaction, so we're not really going to talk too much about transfers. But the truth is, they don't really have anything to talk about transfers. When you're talking transfers and Manchester United, you're talking about outgoings. You're talking about hearing that Anthony verbal agreement with Real Betis and Manchester United for Anthony on loan, which United still contributing towards his wages. The deal for Rashford between AC Milan seems to have fallen apart.
Make no sense. But
so you only hear outgoings is crickets when you hear ingoings. You understand? Right now, the way they was firing people since Ineos takeover, I don't think we're getting a new ball boy. You understand? Much less to get a new player. Nice situation in Manchester. Do we need players? Yes, we do. But I don't know that we're going to be getting any. Right, Martin? I don't know that we're going to be getting any. I believe you would have to get it in one area, left back. Yeah, well, a lot of people left back and striker. We definitely need some help with that. Again, this relegation battle talk. No, I don't want to hear all with that. I don't want to hear any relegation and relegation and Manchester United is not supposed to be the same conversation.
Relegation.
You understand?
You understand? It is the road to 40. The road to 40 points. You understand?
I hear you. Courtney is saying that Lenny seems to be struggling in the 3. I think Lenny just is struggling with the pace of the Premier League.
Yeah.
And the only way you're going to get that is playing. I think the way they were managing him, bringing him on for 20 minutes before games. No, Lenny, Euro is the future. Right? Euro is one of the buys in the future. So I don't mind him getting the occasional start. And maybe some of these lesser teams are the teams he should be getting the start against. But I think Amarin need to continue to ease him in. Because when he comes on and he playing guys and their legs tired, he seems to get it better then. When he comes on and he dealing with some of these pacey, aggressive wingers in the Premier League, he seems to be a little wanting. You know? And everybody is entitled to a learning curve. Forget his age. Yes, he's young, but he's a new player into the Premier League. So I could give Euro some grace. What are your thoughts on Euro? Not just so much today, but overall, since he's been a United player.
Remember, right? The man has only really, well, as far as I can remember, he has only started 2 games. That was Southampton and today. All right, I believe so. So
and the wingers he came up against in those 2 games were good.
Yeah.
Them fellas fast. Them fellas have some trickery in them.
But Tomo is no slouch, right? He's not. The guy with Southampton, I mean, the man tore him a new one. But these are the games where you have to come in and you learn. You know, it's a trial by fire. You know, it's better you come in here and you know where you are. You get embarrassed, right? But you learn, right? Then we try to soften you in and then you end up really embarrassing yourself. So let him know from now that this is what you are going to be facing from now on. You understand? So I will always give him a chance. I think, and remember too, right? He had that bad injury. I think if he had not gotten injured, maybe by now he would have gotten accustomed, to the pace. But he has only now come back, so you have to give him a chance. The same way, people was saying that Gatti was not good, and now you see him actually, coming to come. You understand? I think most of the new players right now are still trying to find their feet. Dillett, Xerxes, you know. So I will give Lenny a chance, because again,
I wanna just run through the rest of these comments here, and then I wanna address two big talking points to me that going around in Manchester United circles. So Mark is saying consistency is the problem. Actually, I think Mark, I have come to the conclusion that Manchester United is just consistently bad. You understand what I'm saying? That's where we are consistently inconsistent. That is where we consistent. We consistently inconsistent. We don't know which team is going to show up, and it has nothing to do with the team sheet. It has nothing to do with the starting 11. It has nothing to do with the team talk. I don't know. They had to figure out what flavor Gatorade. Maybe we had to go to start to look at other things. Maybe who lay all this stuff in the dressing room when we have a bad game. Who put the clicks out. Maybe it's something like that. Maybe it's the flavor, the snacks before. Maybe it's the bus driver who take the bus to the club. Maybe we need to start going behind the scenes to see what is really, what psychologically is affecting these guys. Because clearly, something the fronters take on does happen when we play in the big teams compared to not.
Needs to hire Big Sam as an advisor. How to deal
with Big Sam to do what, Robert?
As an advisor, as a consultant, to tell the boys you are in a relegation fight. Know where you are in life. You understand? Right?
Shabaka is suggesting that if we keep Anthony, that we should let him play on the left as a left-footed player. I think Anthony as a left-footed attacking wingback is an excellent suggestion, and I've been saying that for a while. All right, Robert. So let's just touch on these two things quickly and wrap it up. When you're having a depressing day and after a depressing game, you don't want to spend too much time talking about it. So there are two things that are circulating. There are some fans that are starting to become more vocal in saying that Amorim needs to change things. That yes, you have your system, and yes, you have your way of playing football, and it's not that we're not saying it can't work in the Premier League, but you have to stem the bleeding, right? Else Manchester United will really end up in a relegation scrap. So there are some, people in the comments, let me know what you think about that. Should Amorim change his system, change his style of play, just to stem the bleeding, just to get us over the line for the rest of the season, just to help us to finish in the top half of the season? Or really and truly, once we don't get relegated, it really don't matter where we finish. Because my attitude is sink or swim. Let the manager do what he had to do. So at the end of the year, you're going to have a clear picture of who could play in the system and who can't. Let the manager do what he had to do. So at the end of the season, you have a clear picture of who you want to stay and who you want to go. Let the manager do what he had to do. So let's see the players that sink in and let's see the players that swim in. Don't compromise. That's my thing. Let Amorim do what he had to do. So I back any manager and his style of play 100%. Because you bring that man to play that style of play, you bring him to change it. And at least that's my thought. I think in yours, in the meeting, say, well, we like how you're playing in Portugal, but you're coming in the Premier League and we're going to cheat. No. I don't think that was the conversation. Right? So if that is the style that the coach of the club is comfortable with going forward, before he took over the job, let him do that. But that's me. What is your thought on that? Should he stem the bleeding, or should he do what he does?
No. he has to be able to come in here and implement his style of football because it works. At Sporting, right, it worked. I mean, he beat Man City, what was 4-1 or 5-1 with Sporting with that same 3-4-2-1. It works. And you can't say it doesn't work here because we beat City again here, we beat Arsenal, and we drew against Liverpool. And if we had a better striker, we could have even beaten Liverpool. So it works. The problem, to me, again, is that the players just don't want to commit. They don't want to commit. So they have to commit. So it's either you play in the system or we get rid. And I'm sorry, I mean, the way how Ineos fired all them people, they fire this person and that person, that person, that person. Why so hard to fire players? You know, because you can fire the copy lady, you fire Fergie, you fire who some of them ex-players got fired, but you can't fire the players. Fire them. I mean, if it's so important, fire them. The same way how you fired Dan the other day. Fire the players because obviously they can't work. So fire them. You know, let Amaran come in here and implement his system, and it's either you're playing my system or you're out. And to me, that should be it. Don't compromise because it's not to say that it can't work. It can work. You understand? It's that these players are just a bunch of criminals. They are criminals. You understand? From Onana, who's a criminal, Bruno is a criminal, Hoyland, I don't know why he here for, because his name is one letter away from Holland. No, fire him too. Fire him too. You know, who's the next one? Dallo, you know? No. I say
Right. So we get in a sense, Courtney said, you know, we need to hit rock bottom. And sometimes you need that to rebuild.
right.
You know, in life, a lot of times we go through that. You know, you're struggling, but sometimes when you reach that point where there's only one place to go, which is up. And I'm not referring to the relegation. I'm referring to that at all. Martin is saying, Amarin should continue his style of play. The players must conform or ask to leave. Look at Pep. He doesn't change any player. Amarin has been successful playing his way. And I totally agree. And sometimes I will tell you something. People, what's going on with you and your phone?
Yeah. I don't fix this. Yeah, hold on.
Give my headache. Senior upside, senior on the side. So, yeah. You know, people, I think when we start to see the success of this back three and the system, I wouldn't be surprised if a number of other clubs in the Premier League start adopting the system. Right now, it ain't saying nothing. The performances are inconsistent. And, you know, whatever might be the case. But I think we're going to see that. So, next game, we play in Rangers in the Europa. That is Thursday at 4 p.m. Anybody looking to hang out with us, we're going to be at Rise Sports Bar on Cipriani Boulevard to take in that game. But I know a lot of times in recent history, Manchester United teams tend to perform differently in Europe. You know? Do you think we're going to get up for that game?
I'm not sure. Probably, maybe. I mean, again, I don't know. I mean, this team is just so up and down. You just can't tell.
Yeah. You're entitled to feel unsure. You know what I mean? You're entitled to feel unsure with Manchester United right now. I think we all are. So to wrap it up, to put a bow on it, Manchester United consistently inconsistent. We had another disappointing performance. We had 30 minutes of the game where we looked like we could be one of the best teams in England. And that was it. You know, the game before that, we had 10 minutes of specialness from Ahmad. You know, I was watching the game, and my father was like, "You feel Ahmad going and save all your again today, boy?" Because really, actually, it feel like Manchester United didn't even need a savior right about now, boy. It feel like that. We are under pressure. But I think by the end of the season, Amarin is going to know who we could trust. And I think we're going to have a mass exodus. I cannot see this team performing like this. And I think he will have the backing of the fans. I think the fans are going to feel like anybody he wants to sell, nobody's untouchable.
No.
You know, if he decide he want to get rid of Bruno, I think people will be like, yeah, sell Bruno.
Yeah,
if he say you want to get rid of Onana, people will be like, yeah, we just buy him, but sell Onana.
Yeah.
You understand? If he say, watch, I want to rip up the loan and change the loan, all the people who, we consider the ground and the grass of Old Trafford as hallowed ground. They'll be like, yeah, rip up the ground. Just do whatever. You know what I mean? Just change. Sometimes when it's so frustrating. Just change anything. You want to change uniform and all? It's just change whatever. Because we can't suffer like this for next season. No. You know, we can enjoy it for the rest of this one. We know I think I cannot see this team barring something drastic being consistent. If we get 2-3 games on our trot, that would be nice. But I think this team is just going to be inconsistent for the rest of the season. I think with a proper transfer window, maybe need more than one, and a proper preseason, we're going to see a different United next season. So people, in the word of blacks, ban your belly because it's going to be a struggle. It's going to be a ride, you understand? But fortunately, as fans, we're going to have each other to cry with, to jump up and celebrate with when we win some games, to complain with, to cuss something with, not cuss each other. You know, we don't want to not cuss each other, but, curse at the TV and curse at the team. Right? So, ban your belly is going to be a ride. But I'm here for it. Manchester United, true and true. When you cut me, we bleed red. So
correct.
We do we had to take the ups with the downs. Well, we was your closing remarks.
I agree. I mean, it's just the way how it is. Don't come to any game looking for happiness. You know, be prepared for sadness and give thanks for happiness. You understand?
Yeah. When we get the joyful moments, like against Arsenal, like against City, like against Liverpool, I didn't mention anything today, and maybe we'll deal with that in another show. I'm not going to go back, but the refereeing again today was very inconsistent. I saw, as Minter's name was, get away with some tackles that the law had been penalized for. We have had players get the ball and been called foul and given cards because the tackle was from behind. And Armand did that twice today. I didn't even get a foul. Call against him. We had a player down in the box and we didn't even hear about a VAR check.
No.
A man needed to give Xerxes a WWE smackdown first to get a damn penalty call. You understand what I'm saying? I just saying, past few games, the refs and them, I don't know, but we seem there is no excuse. We didn't play well, we deserve to lose. I'm not making any excuse. I just making an observation that it seems to me that the refereeing is not consistent when it comes to Manchester United and Manchester United players. You'll remember earlier in the season, same Delo get 2 yellow cards for dissent in 60 seconds. 30 seconds, a matter of fact. You ever see that in the Premier League? Ever? I never see it. So I just saying, I think the referee association need to take stock of themselves, because we gosh, the players giving us enough heartache. We don't need the refs. The other teams don't need referee help. You understand? Brighton didn't need all the help today. They really didn't. They really didn't need it. So they give me a break now. Oh gosh, we under pressure. Give me a break, right? But people's, it's always a pleasure to discuss Manchester United on the good days and on the bad days. So for Robert and myself, we out. Remember, Red Devils don't die. Good times, bad times, in between times, we multiply. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, people.